Oi, what's the best game where you get to eat pie? What's the best game where you play a dead guy? Aye? You'll find out in VG247's podcast. Here, what's the best game where you swing from a rope? And what's the best game where you batter the Pope? Assassin's Creed 2. Like I said, you will find out in this here podcast. Hello and welcome to VG247's Best Games Ever podcast, where we attempt to find the best game within a very specific category. For example, this week we're looking for the best game with a ginger protagonist. And by that I mean has orange hair, not that they're particularly careful or trepidatious. Well, they might be careful about certain things. If they went to school in the UK, they're probably careful about putting a hat on. I am joined today by Tom, Kelsey and Connor. How are you all doing?
Hello. Doing good.
Connor shrouded in darkness.
Yeah.
Bit of a random intro.
You discover me emerging from like the Star Wars Jedi Survivor mines of like playing that for a full week. So
emerging from the content mines.
Yeah. Fun
you
fact.
put your pants away this time.
Yeah, they're gone.
But there is something poking out of those drawers. I don't know what that is.
That's a shirt this time.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
That's a shame because your pants were like a really popular character on the podcast, according to the comments.
Well, we gotta expand sort of like the universe of VG247. There's the Fox puppet, and there's my pants.
If this was Disney Plus, they'd have their own series at some point.
Pants.
Okay, right. So, best game with a ginger protagonist is a really difficult one for everyone, I think, because there just aren't that many.
There's some obvious ones, right?
There are some obvious ones.
There's quite a few.
A lot of them are kind of bad. Like, not the games, but the characters are kind of rough. And so, like, I think the perfect ideal pick is like a great game with a great ginger character.
Okay.
And that was hard.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll have to see. Should we let Tom go first? Tom never goes first. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, you can go first this week.
Thanks. I wasn't actually prepared to go first. I was just going to open up some emails.
You always complain when you go last, and now you're complaining about going first, essentially.
Yeah. This was a struggle, I won't lie. Because I've got like about half an ago I did a Google, like ginger characters in games.
Right.
Aloy from Horizon.
Okay, stop there.
Madeline from Celeste. Fox McCloud from Star Fox, actually, I think would have been a good choice, to be fair, because he's like ginger all over. Like completely ginger.
He's like the most ginger.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Good point.
So I almost went with that, but then I was scrolling down, I thought, nobody's actually going to pick this. So I've got a little story to go with this one, right? So,
right, okay.
when I play this game, I like to role play a bit now and again to change up a bit, right?
Yeah.
So the game, and you might be shocked by this choice, is Football Manager, right?
Right.
So occasionally I might be like, I'm gonna like role play as Antonio Conte, the disgraced Spurs manager, just really rip into players, right?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, like any other big manager. But for a few years ago, there was a manager doing like he was doing quite well. And he was called by the fan base the Ginger Mourinho, right?
Right.
And that manager is Sean Dyche, who now manages Everton, right? So for a few seasons, I built Sean Dyche out as a character creator in Football Manager, right? So I built him basically as just a man in a suit with ginger hair. It's not much more advanced than that. And I played as him for 2 seasons, got a bit bored, but yeah, that was it. He is the star of that game, as far as I'm concerned, when I was playing.
Right.
And I think probably I was more invested in him as a character than I am in any other character in any other video game ever, because I was literally being him, thinking like him, making decisions like him, trying to get the job in a bigger club, and failing.
We get into a bit of a quagmire here, because do character creator characters count?
They do.
No.
They do, because it's not just in this. I'll explain why. I haven't just picked random ginger character. I thought I've gone auto-generate, give that person ginger hair. I've created a real person, right? So it's not the same as going,
Does this person exist in the game already, or do you have to kind of...
Yeah, they do, but...
You have to create them to make them the protagonist, as they are in the game usually. If you were just doing whatever, they're not the protagonist.
Wow. They are. I mean, I could have made...
They're just a manager.
I could have made my own manager. who I normally play as Tomori, surprise.
Right.
But I normally make him just like standard has-been science teacher, that kind of look.
Right.
Sort of sometimes wears a blazer, sometimes doesn't.
Yeah.
But I thought, no, sometimes I try and be a bit different, and I try and create a different character, so it spices up the game a bit. And
right.
Sean Dyke had a very successful run for a while. He's that kind of manager, like no one like goes, oh, I really want Sean Dyke to take over. The wrong guests are on this show, to be clear. Like if James had been on, he'd be all over this, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not saying bad things about Kelsey or Connor, but they don't give a shit about this, right? It's
No,
clear.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about football.
Exactly.
Character creators surely don't count, right? Otherwise,
not-
like, you could
I
say
don't
any
think
game, or either you could just do any game and be like, my pick is Fry from Futurama.
I'll pick
in
this
Skyrim.
game and
Yeah,
I'll
but,
pick the
like-
ginger NPC as the character.
I'm playing a real person who exists in the world of Football Manager, right? I'm not just picking I'm not playing as like Homer Simpson. I'm playing as a real manager who is in the game, but I'm just choosing to play
Would
as
you
him.
role play Football Manager as Homer Simpson? I think that would be
No,
quite
that's ridiculous. He's not a real manager.
I suppose
is
that's
he?
basically the plot of Ted Lasso as well. Sorry, Connor, when this goes out, I'm going to pitch your voice down and credit you as anonymous.
Do it.
I'm just like, okay, so like if you do that, like it really opens up our picks. I could be Ed Sheeran in
No,
Oblivion.
you couldn't. Because you're missing the point entirely here, Connor, right? Right. Ed Sheeran does not exist.
I could be
in
Ed
the
Sheeran in
world.
Oblivion.
Yeah, but you could name your character Ed Sheeran and make them look
and make
like
them look
Red
just like Ed
Yeah.
Sheeran, and
Oblivion-
then become the protagonist of one of Jim's
Oblivion
favorite games.
is not
I think.
It's not like they do not exist in the same world. Sean Dyke exists in the world of Football Manager.
Yeah.
I haven't just made up a.
I mean,
someone-
technically speaking, Ed Sheeran exists in the world of Football Manager as well.
I mean, he's not in the database, I don't think, whereas Sean Dyke is.
But like Sean Dyke exists in the database as not the protagonist of Football Manager.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, he exists in the database as a rival, not as the protagonist. He's the antagonist, if anything.
Like the
Yeah,
antithesis
but
of the
I've twisted it
question,
and
right?
gone, I'm going to become him, and therefore he is the protagonist. Like, I think, Connor, you're failing quite badly to make this a bad choice.
I think you're balancing your pick on some pretty shaky foundations.
Can't wait to hear your choice.
I'm going to have to turn his camera feed off because every time I look at it... Every time I look at it, it's like when in
It's got worse.
in Brass Eye when they interviewed Andy McNabb.
The British government has never launched an offensive on the 5-year-old child.
I'm very distracted by that, but I'll soldier on. Okay, speaking of Connor, let's move on to Connor. Connor, what have you picked for this one?
So I also found a big list of characters, and I thought they were all kind of naff. And I hadn't played a lot of those games, and I didn't really like a lot of those games or the characters. So I was actually really stumped on this. Until leaning back in my chair in the dark, I thought quite deeply about the topic of like a ginger protagonist. And I came to a realization that there's actually more room to this topic than, was first.
Really? It's not when I choose
Which
it,
is
though,
why
is there, Connor?
No, because you're awful. So my pick for the best game with a ginger protagonist is Ninja Bread Man.
It's a
What?
good twist. It's a good
That's
twist.
fantastic.
You got to admit,
Ninja Bread Man
it's brilliant.
is a game where you play as a gingerbread man ninja.
Before you go
As-
on, what's the Metacritic for Ninja Bread Man?
That's what I'm looking up right now. 20%. 20%.
20?
20%.
1.5 out of 10 from IGN. 2 out of 10 on IMDb.
It comes from Data Design Interactive.
all this is pointless,
who were
Connor.
British, and they were awful. No, I'm fully admitting it because you've already Metacritic it. It's really bad, but it's got a lot of charm to it, and it's probably one of the most interesting twists on the Banjo-Kazooie formula I've ever played.
You've
Its
not played
sequal
this
got
game.
cancelled.
I have played this game.
Why?
I bought this for my sister about 7 years ago for the Wii.
Do you hate your
and
sister?
She played. No, not at the time. I was like, she was like, I have a Wii and we've finished like Zelda's crossbow training a million times. I need more games. And I was like, okay, I'll buy like a
Literally
Zelda
anything
game,
else.
like another
Any
Zelda
other
game.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy, I don't know what else I bought, but one of the games I got with the money I had left when I just walked into the game with like 20 quid was like Ninja Bread Man, because it was like £3.
Right.
You point the Wii remote at the
Yeah.
screen, and it shoots out, I think, shurikens at enemies and all like ginger.
That sounds pretty good, to be fair. Is it better than Star Wars Jedi Survivor?
I think it runs better than Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I think it's got a better performance.
You gave what score did you give Star Wars Jedi Survivor? 4 out of 5. What score would you give Ninja Bread Man? Because you have to say 5 now in order to be in a chance of winning the game, but nobody's going to take that seriously.
Listen, I think I can say without a doubt that I've picked the most ginger protagonist out of
Incorrect.
all 3. So I'm leaning on that side of the
I mean,
podcast.
it's extremely strong in terms of like ginger protagonist.
And it would be funny if it won.
But
so
the other, it would be funny if it wasn't, to be fair. And that has been a factor in the past.
It has been, yeah.
So, but we're all right. It's sending me towards a really awkward conclusion here.
Before you ask Kelsey, can I,
yeah,
without ruining it, can I make a guess of what Kelsey's picked?
No. Unlike everyone else, I did not have to Google this half an hour beforehand. As soon as I got sent the topic, I knew exactly what I was going to pick, which is probably why Tom knows what I'm picking. And I want to also remind you of what Tom said about Fox from Star Fox, the idea that, you know, having a completely ginger protagonist would be brilliant. So I've picked Stray, because it's got a cat, and the cat's ginger. That's it. It's also a really, really good game that I gave a 5 out of 5 to on the website.
That's pretty good. So officially, as far as the website's concerned, it's better than Jedi Survivor.
Yeah. It's one of my all-time favourite games, I'd have to say.
Apart from the fur colour, is there anything sort of particularly ginger about the cat?
So, right, I have this theory that ginger cats act more like dogs than other cats, right? Genuine theory, I'm not just making this up for wins or whatever.
Right.
They just act like more like dogs. And this ginger cat obviously goes about, like, defeating Zerks and Sentinels and trying to rescue this little community of robots whilst also making its own way home. Mm-hmm. And it does act like a cat, but the fact that they don't nap as much as they do because you're playing this game makes them pretty dog-like. But definitely more adventurous than a dog is, I'd say.
I'm actually playing this game at the moment. I've been playing it for about 4 weeks, and I'm not getting very far because I play it for about 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
And I think...
I was going to say, it's not that long,
and I think, why? Why does this game... Why has it been so well reviewed? I'm literally wandering around, jumping onto things, going meow, scratching a floor, scratching a wall, knocking something off. And it's all very, very dull. It looks nice. Looks nice. The cat is ginger, I'll give it that. It's ginger with white. It does have a lot of white in it too. It's not just...
No, it's not. It's a completely ginger cat.
It's got a bit of a white face. It's got some white bits on its face.
I'd say they're more strawberry
lose
blonde.
some points there.
I mean, it's as ginger as a ginger person, at least.
But not as ginger as a gingerbread man.
I mean, Connor does have that. Gingerbread Man is more ginger in many ways, but I still think, I mean, Kelsey wins, Connor, in this between you two. I mean, there's no argument there, right?
No.
I just think, even though the website I run gave it a 5, I have to say, I think it's not a very good game.
See, I find it interesting in the fact that it divided people so much. There's people like me who just absolutely adored the game and everything that it did, and then there's people who were like, it's just a walking simulator where you're a cat and you get to do cat things. Like, meh.
Yeah, it's the most boring awards winner of the year.
I
sure.
loved it. I thought the actual overarching story and what the story was trying to say to people about, like, you know, just generally we should probably care about each other a little bit more. I really liked that, and I really liked that they decided to do a story like that from, like, through the lens of a cat.
Yeah, but I don't need to be told I need to care about people more. I'm already quite caring.
I feel like if you like cats, Stray was really great. And if you're like whatever on cats or don't like cats, it's just like a really standard game. And I personally could do with
cats. We are... that's terrible, Connor. You've got a cat.
I can't believe you just said that.
That's a horrible attitude.
I do have a cat.
Horrible attitude.
I don't even have a cat.
They're a nightmare.
I need to go and give mine a hug now because she might have heard that. We also, I mean, this is the website that published 5 out of 5, a 5-star Stray review, but it's also the website that published the infamous Stray would be better with a dog article.
True.
Which is the most, one of the most annoying articles ever written as a cat lover because it's entirely correct.
Yeah.
And well, I'm not sure Stray would have been better with a dog, but the central point that like cats just aren't that helpful. That's what I struggled with playing Stray. And I was like, I mean, it's great, but like, what's the cat's motivation?
The cat wants to go home. They want to be reunited with their cat friends.
Yeah, but
that was like the best part
And you
of the game.
start with
cats
other
just
cats.
go and live anywhere they want.
You
don't
start
they?
with other. Well, that's the thing. You start with other cats, and then you get separated from those cats and end up in this like underground walled city, and then you have to go and reunite yourself with your cat friends.
But the thing about cats is that they are too stupid to make the connection between like helping robot X to reach goal Y. This is like watching The Little Mermaid and complaining that crabs can't sing. I get that, but that article. Siobhan did make a good point in that piece, and it's annoying, but Stray is a really good game. All right, we need to pick something now, I think, don't we? And it's going to be.
We know where this is going. Just play the jingle.
I'm gonna go through them. Tom, do you have any further comments?
Well,
I mean, you definitely do. I'm just going to let you get them out of the way.
The thing I would say is, Jim, just because you own a cat doesn't mean you have to choose the cat game, all right?
It's not. I'm not going to make my decision on that basis at all.
100% going.
Yeah, but which one's the best game?
Well, Football Manager's clearly the best
precisely.
game. Football Manager's like the long-running, much-loved, sells millions of copies every year. Hundreds of thousands of people are playing it all the time.
It's not much of an award season favourite, though, is it?
Do you think there are
sports
more
games don't get awards, even though they're often very good?
It's true.
Do you think there are more cat lovers out there, or football fans?
Well, I don't know. I don't actually know, because I assume people hate cats because I don't like them, and the people like football because I like football, right? So it's very
Do you
hard.
like dogs?
Yeah, I like dogs,
Tom?
but I don't want a dog.
See, I reckon football people are more likely to be dog people than cat people. I feel like there's more of a correlation there.
True.
Is that
I don't
because
know,
there's
it's
two
just-
people
it's just
you
a
know
vibe,
that like
innit?
football, like dogs?
No, James loves football and he's a cat person, so it's not a total correlation. I'm just saying that like I feel like football fans and dog owners have like a very similar energy. Mainly that their hobby is everyone else's fucking problem. Right. So
just before you go, I think we can all agree, Jim. I think me and you are friends at this point, right? We can speak candidly with each other. I think.
Yeah, all right.
Over the years, video games have gotten a bit too artsy and pretentious. And playing a game where you're a cat and you just like run around and learn about the value of being kind to other people is not personally what I got into video games.
You got in for
playing
strange
as
18+ rated mobile games, didn't you?
I got in for action and
Shurikens.
and there's the most action-packed, brilliant, enticing game to my eyes.
You sound like the comment
of
section on that Stray review.
Is Ninja Bread Man. Back to the roots of the medium. Jumping on platforms, doing
walk
time
from
trials,
left to right, battering
collecting
people?
things. No, it's 3D.
Oh, okay.
It's like a 3D platform. It's like Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, the greats. It's in that same heritage, and I think we could hold it up as what it is, which is a champion of a time when games were frankly
That's funny because
better.
I've never heard of it until
It's a terrible
today.
game. I just want to get your thoughts on the end of Shrek 2.
What I mean with a giant gingerbread person falls into the river and dies.
Did you cry when the gingerbread man basically got taken by the river?
I did. Yeah, it was really sad because it goes like "be good" and it sinks down. And then, the
All right,
gingerbread
Kelsey, what
character
do you
starts
think about
crying.
the end of
Very
Shrek 2?
sad.
Yeah, it's alright.
There we go. All right, Connor's got my vote. Give it to Connor.
Give it to me.
Well,
I don't remember crying.
Well, hang on a minute. All right, we're not going to do it on the basis of who remembers Shrek 2 the best.
I remember Shrek 2 very vividly. I just felt
But you should remember that scene has like I Need
so
a Hero
emotional.
playing alongside it, which makes it the most amazing scene in an already amazing film.
Gingerbread Man was kind of annoying though.
Oh, okay.
Do you think people who have emotional reverence for Shrek 2 and dog owners are in the same Venn diagram?
Yeah,
I think it's a full circle.
I think you also
If
have
there's
to have
any-
a lack of emotions to like cats. I think this is what's happening.
I don't think that's true at all. I think you have to have an abundance of emotions to enjoy the company of a cat because you have to project a lot onto them.
And you're kind of a slave to your cat, right? You kind of spend time with it when it wants to spend time with you, and you clean up its mess, and it knocks over stuff, and claws up the carpet, and it's
Yeah,
awful.
I mean they're
yeah, but also it loves you.
Yeah.
And it's cute.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Cats don't.
Hearing you
Love
say this physically hurts. I want a cat so bad, and here you are shit talking your own.
Yeah.
Be
grateful.
The average Stray fan.
I don't know about you, Connor, but my cat loves
I'm not allowed a cat. I'm not allowed a cat. I'd have 5 of them if I could.
My cat's lovely, but like looking after a cat is work.
No, it's not. They're the easiest animal to look after on the planet. They don't even need taken out.
No, they're not. It's not true.
They really are. You just you feed them, pet them every now and then. Otherwise, they just sleep on a chair somewhere and leave you alone.
You let the
They're
cat
not
out, and then
sycophantic.
it's like
They're not
11
constantly
p.m.
after
and
your
you're
time.
like, oh, we got to get the cat back in because it's like 11 p.m. and whatever. And then you're standing at the door, and it's like, well, the cat's just not here.
But that cat has walked
so now
itself,
I've got to stay
Connor.
up for 2 more hours.
That cat has not required a fucking chaperone to go outside. Therefore, it is the least problematic pet you can own. Right? Okay. My cat's an inside cat because she's a little princess and she doesn't like.
Your cat, to be fair, is lovely.
Yeah.
Your
Thanks
cat's
very
brilliant.
much. Right. Okay. She's very antisocial though. She basically, when you were here, she basically ignored you until you were about to leave, which is what she does with everything. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to make a decision now, and I don't think it's going to be controversial. Connor, you're not going to kick off about this, are you? Because you know.
I've
No,
won.
No, you haven't won because the fact that it's got 20% on Metacritic means it can't possibly win. But what I do want to...
Yeah, but these game reviewers and boards, they don't know what they're doing. Like, that,
Yeah, they were
they don't
bribed by like rival publishers to keep the it was like a conspiracy against Ninja Bread Man.
Yeah, EA, Activision, Blizzard, it all came together in a dark room, said we need to stop.
They were
Ninja
bunging
Bread Man.
people at IGN like 20 grand under tables in pubs. Make sure you give this one a kick in, yeah, because that.
Yeah, we all know that's how it works.
It is actually how it works, honestly. Like, I've got so much money. Yeah. But, right, okay. But, look, what I do want to do is highlight how much I enjoyed your interpretation of the topic, because had Ninja Bread 2 not been a 20% on Metacritic, had it been like 80 on Metacritic, or even like 65, 70, I think the strength of the... I think the strength of the twist would be enough for it to have won. But 20 on Metacritic, you can't do it. I can't do it. I'm afraid not.
No, I'll agree. It's a bit too low. It's a real shame that video game websites just don't cover small, exciting indie games.
It is a shame.
Otherwise, maybe the
it's just another example of big video games website keeping the little guy down. Tom, obviously, Football Manager does not have a ginger protagonist.
It does.
And Stray is a really wonderful game starring the world's best animal. So Kelsey wins. I hope everyone's happy about that.
I am very happy.
I'm not.
It's what Stray deserves.
Like you said,
I think it's just a lazy choice. That's the problem I have with it.
A lazy choice compared to Football Manager.
My choice took a lot of thought to get that to work. A lot of thought. Codder, to be fair to him, did go out of the box a bit. Thought of something really like ambitious. He went for it. He failed badly, but he did go for it. Stray. I mean, come on.
I stuck to the topic. I stuck to the topic rigidly.
Yeah. Kelsey stayed on brief.
The only one who did stay on brief. Well, I'd say Ninja Bread Man's on brief.
Yeah.
There's a twist. He's ginger. So
Ninja Bread Man's on brief. It's just unfortunately terrible. All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening or watching. And please leave us comments, leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform, and suggest topics, please, on YouTube or elsewhere, because we keep saying it and nobody sends us any topic suggestions, but honestly, we're really scraping the barrel now. So we're having to look at the news and go, what's happening?
Do we ever tell anyone where they can send us suggestions?
In the comments on YouTube and that.
Right. Well, maybe they're not on YouTube watching this.
Even if you've listened to the podcast on Spotify or whatever, you can go on to VG247's YouTube page or the podcast page for this very episode and leave a comment there and tell us. Or you can tweet us. What is the Twitter handle, Tom? Is it just at VG247?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that would be handy, wouldn't it? You can tweet us at VG247 and tell us what a lovely topic would be for this podcast. We've got a document and there's only 6 left. So, like, we're desperately in need of topic suggestions and just just general sort of praise and
please validate us.
Yeah, validation.
Yeah.
Please.
Tom especially needs it. Look at him. All right, thanks very much. Bye.
Bye.